everybody. I'm Yasin Biad, and I would like to thank you all for showing up today to this at the first ever Youth and Children Pavilion at the COP27. I'm really happy to see that this long-awaited opportunity has finally come to a reality. This concretely means a lot for us, namely that youth voice is being heard and youth are being supported from internationals on the decision-making and taking spheres. To introduce myself very briefly, I'm a Moroccan senior in the graduate student at the Faculty of Governance, Economic and Social Sciences of the Mohammed VI Polytechnic University, and I'm a Green Universities for Sustainability fellow member.
Hello, everyone. I would like to thank you as well for your presence today. I will present myself very briefly. I am Sara Mubtiri. I am a 20 years old undergraduate student from the Faculty of Governance, Economics, and Social Sciences in Morocco as well. I am Moroccan, African, so the African blood runs in my blood. And I would like to start this conversation by asking a question that might seem easy to answer, or you'd be like, why would I ask this question? But really, are we grounded in our relationship with Earth? Like, seriously. When was the last time you walked barefoot in the grass? Or drank water using your hands as a cup? There are so many examples to give when it comes to this topic.
But first of all, as David Pittman once said, the first step of solving a problem is to recognize that there is one. We all know that what's truly not going well in our societies, and interestingly, all what people do is complain. We feel the climate change effect on us. Personally, hot temperatures are affecting negatively one's mind, so we can even speak about effective behavioral changes. In other ways, since we can define the main issue, why don't we try to tackle it in our levels?
Suffering is a manifestation of the environmental disaster. Our use of plastic robs potters. Our need for paper depletes bamboo supplies. And our dams hurt thousands of indigenous residents. Those who are already weak and destitute suffer the most from the environmental disaster, such as poor people, children, aged, and all who are kind of powerless. And also, due to their own weakness and helplessness, air, water, soil, plants, animals, insects, and all other forms of biodiversity suffer as well.
I'm not going to speak about the eco-friendly gestures because among other obvious techniques, they are also persuading and demanding. And that was the primary idea we had as a Moroccan university student when we created the Green Universities for Sustainability Club for Climate Diplomacy. The idea here was incrementally turned into a youth-led initiative. Now that it's a club, its potential is still out of reach, and the ambition to create as an association is now present. Our main objective is policy guidance to solutions on the ground.
It is ingrained in Western society to assert that technology will fix it all, regardless of what the problem may be. The scientific community and the general public have both highlighted technology-related issues during the past 50 years, from quiet springs, widespread starvation, the oil spills to climate disruptions, fishery failures, and so on. There is little cause for celebration given the track record of cures for these issues put forth by technical optimists. As previously, the majority of environmental scientists believe that mankind has already overshot its long-term carrying capacity for humans, as seen by several studies in this sense. The general public, entrepreneurs, governments, and the majority of economists, on the other hand, seem to think that population and per capita consumption may continue to expand indefinitely. They believe that the affluent may grow more richer and the poor can catch up. Really? They believe that technical innovation driven by human inventiveness may address growth-related issues, and that in the long run, economic expansion will just erase all injustices, which is basically not true.
And to get back in time and to stimulate your minds, either by brainstorming or perhaps questioning, let me tell you about the story of the first event of the Green Universities for Sustainability Club. It was all a research seminar on ways how to shift habits and conventional practices to responsible ones towards governance and resilience. This event, though it noted the participation of ministry members, professors, and so on and so forth, it wasn't attended only by 20 students. To debrief what exactly happens, it's that youth were really confused and especially really lost. When we asked them about what frightens them, they answered with direct and clear words identifying a climate change related issue. The insight here is that most youth here didn't find the appropriate context to express their ideas and simply defend their cause. That's why with the Green Universities for Sustainability Club, we're hoping or we're aiming to organize the Green Universities Summit that's gonna gather African countries and African youth all over the continent to elaborate and to come up with a charter that will be respected all around the university campuses.
There isn't a simple way to save the world. There is a huge amount of work that has to be done. The secret is to start off modestly. The employee may start looking around to see what they can change. The consumer can start complaining about what they buy, especially when it comes to especially when it comes to expensive items such as automobiles and houses, etc. We need to press for substantial technical answers to problems like the environmental catastrophe, which entails influencing government policy by voting, getting involved, and especially being active in your own community. A potential investor may also begin by inquiring about the measures being utilized and the long-term impact of issues like inequality and climate change. Small actions are essentially the only thing we all know that has any kind of influence. Thus, they are the only thing anyone can start with, anyway. Believe me, nothing happens if you just sit and think positively. A significant change is required in politics, society, and culture. And capitalism we do have nowadays is not the capitalism we agreed on, and so reimagining capitalism is a major step to save what's left. This leads us to a one and only conclusion. None of us is going to change the world, that's for sure. But together, actually, I don't even know the answer to this question yet, but I think that we might. Thank you.
I would say to end up the meeting or to end up this TEDx that the Green Universities Summit is logically linked to what the previous events that Gus has held. So basically, this is a logical continuation to the Green Universities Charter that has been presented last year at COP26 Glasgow and signed by many youth and many universities around Morocco. So thank you so much for attending and thank you for your attention. Please feel free if you have any questions or remarks.
Hello, I represent a Japanese newspaper called Akahata, and I would like to ask you, in many COPs we listened before that many promises of what you explained, okay? What is the best way to make these COPs a real implementation one? How do you think? Yani we listened before many times for many promises, many explanation exactly as you explained of the needs. What do you think the best way from the youth side to really implement these promises?
Thank you for your answer. I would say that the ideal way to tackle climate change and to make what we advocate a reality is first of all to unify all the efforts. Youth should be on the same front. Like there should be an alliance to gather all the forces and should be expressing all the opinions around that, and later we can step to the second and most important part is the consulting. Like the ministries, what we're advocating currently is that our voice should be heard in the ministries. So we're hoping to establish a consultant cell, a youth consultant cell in the ministries, just to have regular meetings and to develop together all the policies. Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you very